Back now to our breaking news as San Francisco police are explaining right now what happened during that shooting we talked about at the top of the hour. Let's listen into the press conference so we can get the latest information.
Officers had information of a known auto burglary suspect vehicle and they were conducting an investigation with that vehicle and the occupants in that vehicle.
How many shots were fired and by whom?
It is early on in the investigation. That is part of the investigation in determining the number of shots as well as the number of officers that shot. We are not providing that information at this time.
So were they doing a check on the vehicle? They identified the vehicle?
It was an identified vehicle known to them as an auto burglary suspect vehicle, and during this encounter of their investigation, an officer-involved shooting occurred.
So did the suspect have a weapon himself or herself, or why did the officer decide to shoot the suspect?
Any information regarding the possession of a weapon is all part of our investigation. As far as what caused the use of force is still, this is still early on in the investigation, and we have not determined all of those pieces.
Can you tell us at what part of the body the person was injured?
We're not going to state that where the injury occurred, but we can state that the injury is considered non-life-threatening.
Was the chief here at this incident?
The chief did arrive here at the scene, yes.
Age and gender of the person struck?
An adult male suspect is what we're able to provide at this time. He is still in our custody receiving medical aid, and until he's booked, we will not be identifying the suspect.
Age and gender of the people that drove away?
Again, that's part of our investigation. It hasn't been determined. Those are, since they are still outstanding, the suspects and the vehicle remain outstanding at this time. We are not providing that information, as this is an active investigation.
Is it standard for the chief to come to any officer-involved shooting? Is it standard for the chief to show up?
It is standard for the chief to arrive to these investigations. These are very serious investigations where we have to look into every aspect of a situation like this.
Were the officers in a vehicle or on foot?
Officers were traveling in a vehicle. However, we're not providing any details as to how and the situation of the actual shooting.
So what about as far as the burglary? Was it here locally in San Francisco or outside the jurisdiction?
The known auto burglary suspects we know have struck here in San Francisco. As far as working with other agencies and other jurisdictions where these suspects may have struck, that is part of our investigation.
Is it like smash and grab type situation with these auto burglaries?
Auto burglaries would be considered, yes, the entering of a vehicle and the stealing of property or the attempt to steal property.
Town hall in 10 days.
So as standard protocol, every time we have an officer involved shooting, a town hall within 10 days will be conducted, and we will provide information as we can, whether it be before the town hall as well as during the town hall.
Just a clarification, was it the auto, was it the license plate, was the auto tied to a crime? That's how the officers got involved?
We're not providing the actual details as to how the officers identified this suspect. They had good information to believe that this was a known auto burglary suspect vehicle and suspects committing those types of crimes.
And just to make sure I understand, auto burglary like smash and grab, not the car itself was or wasn't stolen? Are you releasing that, or the
auto burglary investigations would not be auto theft investigations?
Was this an undercover operation, an ongoing surveillance situation?
Officers were in plain clothes during this investigation. I'll take one more question.
Could I ask you, with regard to the escalation training that the San Francisco Police Department has undergone, pretty extensive, one of the first in the country, how much was that a part of today, meaning that it seems like the suspect only suffered a minor injury? How much of that played here today?
That it's early on in the investigation. Our training is very much highlighting the de-escalation tactics, but I cannot speak to that in this situation as this is very early in the investigation.
Were the officers fired on?
I'm sorry?
Were the officers fired on?
I can't state that at this time. We're not providing the details as to how the encounter occurred, just that an officer-involved shooting occurred. Thank you.